Hello and welcome to a very interesting podcast today. This is, the first of the lot as the World Cup has started. And today we will be covering two matches which have just finished. One was the match in Group B between West Indies and Scotland, and what a thriller it was, and completely unexpected results. And the second one will be the warm-up match between India and Australia at the Gabba. Excuse me. We have Sanket, our sort of in-house enthusiast and expert on the sport. And Sanket, welcome back. What's your initial thoughts on the matches that have just happened?
Probably both the matches were well, like the practice match, even the West Indies Scotland one. Good form of cricket, and especially as I told yesterday, West Indies would have liked it if they restricted Scotland to 140 and not 160.
I think one of the things we spoke yesterday is that if West Indies, I think we had the discussion, if West Indies would have won the toss, they should have batted. They did exactly the opposite.
I told they should have bowled.
Yeah, you said they
Uh,
should have bowled. I was feeling, I'm a maybe a little bit old school in this matter. I know you prefer the chasing concept of it, and perhaps that could have come from a lot of Indian success in chasing that we have developed in the recent years. But I'm a bit old school, and I felt that when you're starting off the tournament, it is much better if you're actually setting up the total on the board, even if it's a new team, and that would have given the confidence. But I think let's dive into the West Indies match. And we had another very interesting match, which was although a warm up game in front of an empty stadium in the Gabba between Australia and India. But some sensational bowling is what we can talk about. But that is coming up, ladies and gentlemen, a little later. First, we will just quickly have a word on the match which has just finished, which is between West Indies and Scotland. Remember, West Indies won the toss and put Scotland to bat as Sanket had wanted them, and they perhaps heard him. Did you actually speak to their wicketkeeper captain?
Probably if I had that opportunity, I would have told them to start with Jason Holder and not Kyle Mayers. Like, I can't get
Right.
the sense of it. Your test opener who scored a 200 is opening your bowling attack in a T20 World Cup. And he gave away 2 overs, 24 runs. Power play, Scotland got that start, and probably those 20, 30 extra runs, they got the confidence from the start, which they got before the rain break.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think after that the wickets, the first wicket fell at 55, and then they had three quick wickets between 55 to 85. And but as we say, George Munsey was the guy who was holding on the at one end, and he was batting pretty well. I saw some of the shots, excellent batting there from George Munsey. He got a bit of support from Richie Berrington and Callum McLeod for the fourth and the fifth wicket. I think that's what allowed them to kind of reach the score that they did, and a little bit of cameo in the end by Chris Greaves. What do you say?
Yes, like probably George Munsey batted at a strike rate of 124, but he carried the team through. He was there and probably struck good boundaries at the end. And Chris Greaves again ended the show very well with his two boundaries. And those two partnership little but helped Scotland to put up on a decent score. And one more thing,
Okay.
Jason Holder was the West Indies best bowler. He bowled 3 overs.
Yes, I was a little surprised to myself, and one of the things that I perhaps would discuss later when we discuss West Indies batting is Jason Holder was contributing with the bat also towards the end. So it's as if he was the guy who was supposed to carry the West Indies team today. That was his sort of mantra. But I think let's come back to the Scotland batting a little bit. I think George Munsey, nine fours is what he hit on the way to his 66. I think he paced the innings pretty well. I saw some of the shots pretty good, and he's pretty strong on the offside, as he has proven time and time again.
Yes, even he has different gears, but in the power play, he was trying to hit boundaries. As he saw wickets going down, he came down to getting the singles and the doubles, using the big grounds of Australia to his favor, and probably got good support from the other batters.
Absolutely, and I think when they put up that 160 total, you could actually see, in those visuals about the Scotland team and the last two guys, they knew they had a very strong chance. I mean, it kind of takes them back to perhaps the only winning game that they have in the previous World Cup in the initial stages. But you could sense that they were believing that they have a chance here against this West Indies team. And when they came out to bowl, it was not something that they expected. And what I realized is it's two very key bowlers for the West Indies got a good start, though, by the way, huh? By Kyle Mayers
Yes,
and Evan
at the end
Prithvi.
of the power play, they were 53 for 1 before Lewis got dismissed.
Correct.
That was
And
the chase done there. If if you had sensible batters, that chase should have been a walkthrough.
absolutely, I mean, they still had about 15 overs, right? I mean, 15 overs, they were supposed to score about 100 on runs. So that's like, most teams would in T20 cricket would do it in their sleep. Okay, so it's not that they were not this thing, but what changed for the West Indies team is how they played the slower bowlers, and that's where I think the game changed, and it was a very good sort of move by their captain, Richie Barrington, and Mark Watt, and came and changed the things for them. And of course, Michael Lesk later on, but he actually started taking the wickets.
Yes, 4 overs for 12 runs and 3 wickets. That's a gold mine for you.
Absolutely. And at some level, I felt the West Indies players were struggling against the slower bowlers. If you take the two wickets that were bowled out, of by Watt and Last, which is Brandon King and Nicholas Puran, the captain, I think that's where the game changed. And of course, a couple of quick wickets of Sharma, Brooks, and Overman Powell, which also followed. And you realize that half the West Indies team was back in the pavilion. I think they were what 66 for 77 when they were just 2 for 53. So 22 runs, 24 runs, and 4 wickets. I mean, the entire game changed for West Indies in just those few overs,
Yes,
4 overs.
Puran's dismissal was weird. He's a good player, spin, and he plays them well. Looks for singles and doubles, but I don't know what happened today. 9 balls, 5 runs. Was not even looking for boundaries or singles. He was lost out there. I guess the pressure of captaincy might is getting to him.
Well, I can say that a bit because the two DRS that he took, okay, they were completely. I mean, you could see with the naked eye that those were both not out,
Yes.
okay, and the both the DRS which he took, and that went against the West Indies team. And sometimes I think, what I mean, it might just be a little too less information to pin it on the captain, but of course, when you are the captain, people are going to fire guns at you. It is quite obvious. However, I think it's another shake-up in this sort of tournament so early, wherein one of the guys is actually one of the big guns who we are expecting to qualify from Group B into and not just qualify. I mean, win Group B again, just like Sri Lanka from Group A, will have to win both their matches and hope they get benefited by the other results. And suddenly, the predictions are looking, dodgy from our end. I'm not saying from the perspective that we what can happen, what cannot happen, but the what this is proven yesterday and today, that you cannot take any team regardless of their vintage in T20 cricket or international cricket lightly.
You cannot do that. West Indies played 24 matches between the two tournaments. Scotland has played two, but it looked like
Two, yeah, absolutely,
it is the other way around.
absolutely, absolutely. Scotland has played just 2 matches, and West Indies played 24 matches, and it just as if West Indies and especially the middle order, Nicholas Puran, Sharma, Brooks, Roman Powell, uh,
Brendan King also highest run getter of the CPL.
yeah. But one thing I really liked when Brendan King was batting, and I saw some of his shot, especially when he hit that four straight over the mid off and long off boundary. Uh, you, I think T10 and T20 cricket has kind of made us miss those kind of shots and that kind of cricket,
Yes,
because the
the-
straight bat by the book play in these kind of tournaments what you see mostly is like ball bowled outside the off stump and it is going to the mid wicket and deep mid wicket and squarish long on region. Whereas in Jason King's case, Brandon King's case, beg your pardon, it was going in the cover region, especially the cover drive that he hit off the back foot, then the front foot straight over the mid off that he hit. It was giving the sort of reminiscence of old times, that
Proper
how
West Indies
game
flavor
used. Yeah,
batting by Brendan King.
absolutely. Just like they say, you mirror him and you could remember when Brian Lara used to play. If he were just the left hand batsman, just mirror him, and you would remember how Brian Lara used to play through the offside and through over the covers, over the long off region. So that was, but it was very brief. I think he looked, I think, even better than even Lewis. He looked better in touch.
Yes, Lewis didn't look in touch even with that six.
Yes,
One stat which I was looking at, none of the batters except Lewis averages over 30 for West Indies. So
right.
the confidence of Ireland, if they did this research, was probably high. And it's not like that all the batters strike very high. Only Lewis and Odin Smith at end strike over 140. So West Indies does have a problem in that middle order. And probably this might think why you were saying that they should bat first. A little less of pressure.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. See, the West Indies, if you see their bowling, okay, they didn't bowl that badly but for the few later overs, okay. However, West Indies' middle order was a suspect earlier also, even when they played against India, mind you. I always feel that, and we've seen some recent enough cricket as well. If you are not going to back your strength and protect your weakness, you are going to get exposed at the international level. And that is exactly what a team like Scotland has done for West Indies today. So I think it is very, very important that West Indies actually does some serious remedy in terms of how they want to approach the next two matches against Zimbabwe and Ireland. And of course, the other matches going on, Ireland is getting a bit of a benefit here. Let's just check what the scores are for that. 108 for 4 in 12.3 over Zimbabwe. So they have done a bit of a recovery here, and I can see that as well on Dafa Sports as we are talking. At one point in time, Ireland was about 1.2, 1.3. Now they're 2.5. So and Zimbabwe was 3.02. It's now 1.56. So that's a bit of a recovery there as well. So interesting observations as the match keeps sort of swinging like a pendulum. But talking about pendulum, there was some swing that happened in the warm-up game between India and Australia. So that's something which we are going to talk about now. And I think if you see the India-Australia match, it was kind of a good start that India had got, courtesy the
Yeah.
captain sort of leading from the front today to start with, by giving a good support to KL Rahul also. And KL Rahul got to his 15 about 29 balls, I think, with about 6 4s and 3 6s. I think it was his first match in Australia, and quite a good start.
Yes, good start for India. Probably more than the result. Every batter looked in flow except Hardik, and they had their game plan sorted. Like Rohit would have started hitting at the earliest, but looking at Rahul hitting, he probably preferred the singles. And even Virat, Surya, and Dinesh looked in good touch
Absolutely, I think I remember Virat Kohli coming in and hitting that six
after
of
the break
yeah,
of
after the
Ashton
break.
Agar.
Yeah, and also the six, I think, which was hit of Stoinis, right? Which I think Rohit Sharma or KL Rahul hit. I think they looked in good nick, but they got the. But see, the thing is, both of these guys got the starts. Both Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma got the starts, 15 and 17. So it's not that 15 and 19, beg your pardon, and it's not that you know India lacked any kind of impetus. Of course, Surya Kumar Yadav, after coming, he was hitting those reverse sweeps and all that as well for the boundaries. I think it was his second or third, fourth was the reverse sweep. So that talks about the kind of confidence that he has currently based on the recent performances, he's shown. What do you think?
Yes, I guess India's batting was never an issue going into the World Cup. Both Rohit, Kohli, Surya all looked in form, and Rahul much needed match practice he's getting and probably is in full flow right now. And Dinesh down the order is doing his job. A slight bit problem with Hardik Pandya. Maybe he's not getting that many scores, but we know if he's there for 2022 balls, he's gonna hit 2, 3 out of the ground. So the
Well,
batting,
his dismissal was a bit of a funny dismissal
yes, even Surya's
at
dismissal,
the short third man. Sorry.
even Surya's dismissal was funny.
Yes, yes. That was the next point I was going to come to. So he was trying to hit on the leg side, and the bowler also. I think it was Richardson. Yes.
Richardson.
Kane Richardson was surprised that what the hell happened. How did the ball come to him when it was supposed to go to the mid wicket?
Funny
So I
things.
think, yeah, I think two strange dismissals is what we saw today. One was Hardik Pandya, and the other was this thing. DK again, good support towards the end. I think. Do you think leaving, leaving Rishabh Pant is something that out of the most important match, which is going to come up next Sunday against Pakistan, which is sort of the opener for India? Do you think that is a chance which this team is going to take, which Rohit Sharma is going to take, leaving Rishabh
Probably,
Pant
I
out?
guess
I mean,
that's well decided from a very long time. During the India South Africa series too, he was in the team, but he was not sent out to bat until number 7 in one of the matches. Probably India has figured that out. Rishabh does not have a place in this side. The top three are fixed. You can't remove Surya. As a keeper, Dinesh is there because he's finishing the innings, and you need the all-rounder capabilities of Hardik. Only if he was performing, there was a chance he might play instead of Dinesh. But I don't think he is in reckoning right now. Probably a backup keeper, and hopefully he might be India's opener after the T20 World Cup.
and you're talking about opening where in the
T20
uh,
format opening for India.
okay, okay, all right. I think let's have a little bit of a chat about the great start which we saw from the Australian openers, which one of them being their captain Aaron Finch and Mitchell Marsh. Great start is what they gave. I think uh, you know and I think Mitchell Marsh was almost looking deadly till Bhubi got him out. I mean, played on, of course, and but he had hit him one over the boundary and one to the boundary just in the two balls before that.
Yes, probably Australia were on target and good going. And Mitchell Marsh, probably the man of the tournament from not the man of the tournament, but the man of the match from the last World Cup's final. Going in
Right.
good touch, hitting Arshdeep Singh. India has got a problem over here with Arshdeep bowling in the initial phases. He has not
No,
looked in
absolutely.
that much touch.
No, absolutely. And he was going for runs. Okay. Yes, he did get the wicket of Marcus Stoinis, and which was what do you say? A good catch by Virat Kohli. We'll talk about his other superlative catch a little later when we talk about Shami. Uh, Sorry, that was the catch. I think it was the Stoinis
No,
catch.
no, it was
The Pat Cummins.
Pat Cummins catch.
Yeah, it was a Pat Cummins catch. My bad. So I think, yeah, I mean, Arshdeep kind of looked all over the place here. Harshal also was all over the place. I think they both went for about 11, 10, 11 runs per over. Hardik Pandey also couldn't do much. He was also at about 10 runs an over. Bhuvi had a good comeback, I think I
Bhuvi
would
and
say.
Ashwin were good
Yes,
bowlers for the day.
yes. I think but there was only one bowler for the day today for me. And the guy whose name,
Probably
I
that
have been
that is the
I have been championing right from, and I wish we had Akash with us today, and I would have really told him that, look, I have been saying this from the first day of the podcast that Mohammad Shami is going to be the man for India. Mohammad Shami, just
Akash would
one
have been
over.
happy. The only person unhappy over here is me. I wanted one of Bhuvi or Arshdeep to bowl the final over because they have been struggling with it, and you had the opportunity over there.
I
Do you
think I
see
think
Shami starting against Pakistan?
I think so after this one.
Against
I
who?
Yes, I don't think Harshal makes the cut, to be very honest. That's my personal view, of course. I
Hmm.
don't think Harshal makes the cut, to be very honest. And he kind of proved in the last two matches that he doesn't deserve that place. Now, do you leave out? Now the question, if to Rohit Sharma is that now do you leave out a guy who you give just the last over, as if you are sort of welcoming him to Australia, and he comes and wins you the match when they just have to score 10 runs or 11 runs, and takes 3 wickets, out of which two Yorkers, causes one run out, and then another caught behind. And then you say that, okay, no, thank you. You were just here to bowl the last over of a warm up game. I don't think that's cutting it. But yes, we have another warm up game coming up later this week. I think I would want to see Shami start a little earlier. I would want to see Shami take the new ball with Bhuvi, because the
Yes.
conditions in Australia suit that. And like I always say, unless until your age is your body is not allowing you to continue performing, form is always temporary, class is always permanent. And Shami has always been class. I mean, I've been saying this from the very first moment we were discussing the Indian team. I think if there was anybody who deserves to sort of be able to replace uh, Jasprit Bumrah, it needs to be Shami. Well, maybe I am just getting a little too happier because of the superlative performance today by him, and we still have to see him in the warm up game. But yeah, I mean, uh, you know, he definitely deserves a place more than Harshal Patel for me. What do you think?
I guess if Shami was on the field, probably he should be there for at least 10 to 12 overs, try him out, look at his fitness. Maybe they're going to do that in the next match. And when it comes to Harshal Patel, if he goes on conceding runs even in the next match, there can be a chance of Shami being drafted in place of Harshal, and Shami and Bhuvneshwar opening the bowling attack with Arshdeep being kept for the death overs. That can be a
Look,
case, but I don't.
if yeah, sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Shami, if he plays, he has to bowl three at the top. He has to bowl three at the top. With Bhuvi and Arshdeep, 4 overs kept for the end. That's how
Look,
I see Shami in my side.
if you talk about the playing 11, and strictly on the basis of bowling, I don't think Harshal Patel is considered an all rounder for his batting skills. So he's primarily there for his bowling skills. Now, if he's gone for 49 in the last match, he's gone for 30 in this match, and maybe, just maybe, Rohit Sharma might just give him a chance again in the next match. But that chance has to be now earned after yes, because it's a warm up match, so you can keep rotating players, so that bit is there. And so that means there is another opportunity to test him out, just the way Shami came in today, right? So yes, but I think he has to give his sort of place to Shami as a primary starter, and then perhaps later on in the match he can come bowl that over, just the way Shami did today, just to see how Shami gets used to the new ball. Maybe Rohit Sharma actually gave him the ball in the end because he's just come to Australia 2 days back. And you need to, and it's a bit of a travel, 16, 18 hours travel from India. So your body needs to sort of adjust to this. There is a bit of jet lag that happens because of the current 5.5 hour difference. So that's the reason why perhaps he was just given one over. But I agree to you that he needs to be given a little more bowling in the next warm up match to see if he really can pull through in the game against Pakistan to start with.
Yes, I hope so. He does. Looking at Pakistan, we need those 2 wickets at the top, Rizwan and Babar. And if Shami has the new ball, there are very good chances that he might get you to those
That's
two.
the point I was coming to.
Hmm.
Because see, today Bhuvi did not look comfortable with the new ball. Yes, even the wicket that he got of Mitchell Marsh, uh, that was also a played on. Uh, that was also a played on. So it was not as if he got the wicket. It was just a bad shot, or maybe an unlucky shot sometimes. And because he got stuck for a 4 and a 6 just in the couple of balls before. So Bhuvi, he needs some serious support. And at some level, I think Arshdeep has to be the number 3. And then maybe you can have a Hardik Pandya and Ravichandra Ashwin sort of completing the bowling lineup for India. And that's
Even
just
Akshar
5
is
bowlers.
there.
Akshar is there, and Yuzi is also there. But UZ also went for runs today.
I will go with Akshar and Ashwin. Ashwin minimizing the runs and Akshar picking up wickets. UZ is always gone for runs, but maybe it's in Australia and his flight might get you the wicket. But other than that, if it's a call off between Ashwin and Chal, it has to be Ashwin. You need someone
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
minimize the runs in
Absolutely.
Australia.
Absolutely. I think, we have two more matches currently going on. One is the warm up match between Pakistan and England, wherein, we'll just quickly check the scores. And what we can see here is Pakistan batting, put into bat first, has scored 160 for 8 in 19 overs. That's a good sort of comeback, huh, by the way, against the England team. They were
Yes,
struggling a little earlier. So that's something that we are going to talk about a little later in the day. And the other match wherein Zimbabwe are already at 137 for 4. And
five.
let's see what they
Fifth is
do.
gone.
Fifth is gone. Okay.
Yes,
So maybe, okay. All right. So I think what's the score? I last I saw
137
was
for 5.
130. Okay. So 137 for 5 it has become. Yeah, that's right.
Yes, but
So
Sikandar is
maybe
still batting on 68. Probably,
right, Sikandar Raza. So no, he's got 5 sixes already. So that's perhaps the highest number of sixes in the tournament just yet.
just
Just yet. So so interesting. I think it'll be good to talk about those matches. Let's see what happens. So before we actually sort of say conclude this, what's your predictions for the Zimbabwe Ireland match now that we know they're 137 for 5 and
I guess
Pakistan has scored
Zimbabwe are on a
160?
good track to win this match because 4 overs are left and Sikandar is still batting. You look at a target of around 180, and that will be a 20 run too much for Ireland, considering
Hmm.
Zimbabwe is a team which has been playing for a lot many years and they know their plans. And with Pakistan, England, I guess England will chase this down. It's a warm up match, and if it's a target like 4 overs, 60 runs left, they will send out the main batters just to chase the target down. Also, get them some batting practice in such scenarios against bowlers who are good at death bowling. So that be a match worth watching.
I just want to sort of point out a couple of things to you. Like, when I was checking the Alphabet website earlier, after England's series in Australia, which they won, they have actually moved to number two in terms of the favorites to lift the World Cup, ahead of India. The difference is marginal. They are 3.8, India is 4.1, but they've moved ahead. And if and after you talked about Sikandar being there, I think after Mohammad Shami's performance today, most predictions are looking very dodgy to be made because when you can get 4 wickets, and mind you, Australia lost 6 wickets
Six
for about
wickets of
9 runs,
9-10 runs.
yeah, in the last 2 overs. So anything is possible in this World Cup, but I think that just makes it for very very enjoyable watching. We will meet again later on in the day for the next bit of podcast, which is going to be discussing the matches between Zimbabwe and Ireland. Stay tuned. Join us then. We also will be talking about the England versus Pakistan warm up game, and let's see if our predictions hold good. I mean, Sanket's prediction is England's going to chase it down and Zimbabwe is going to win this. My prediction is that Zimbabwe looks a lot more, likely to win at this point in time. But I think with about 160, 70, if Pakistan's pacers can get a few quick wickets, I think England is going to be in trouble this time. So let's see what happens. We will find out in the next few hours, and by the time we meet you for the next podcast, we will have those results and the analysis for us to share with you. Sanket, thanks as always for joining us, and
Congratulations.
we will meet again soon in the next podcast later on in the day.